Hi everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this lovely seascape, and I've taken your advice, your wonderful advice, and I'm going to put some lightning strikes just on one side coming down through the clouds and onto the sea perhaps. So yes, I'm going to do that. I'll try it anyway. Let's try it and have a bit of fun and see how this looks. So part 2, I'm going to focus on the ocean. I get a lot of the ocean and I'll take my time. I will try and simplify the waves and all the different crests of waves going up and down, and we'll see if we can make it into something really nice. And if I have time I might start maybe to sail the big ship or something like that. I'll see how it goes, but I want to take my time and do it nicely, alright? I hope you understand. And this one then I'll be showing at my exhibition. I've an up and coming exhibition, a solo exhibition, my own exhibition, the very first solo one I've ever done. So I'm busy getting stuff ready for that. And I'll put my Ballycotton lighthouse that didn't sell from the auction, the charity. I'll put that in there as well, put that into my exhibition. So I'm very busy getting lots of stuff done. And I'm looking forward to finishing this now and framing this and showing this in my exhibition. It's going to be fantastic. I really think it is. So without further ado, I'm going to swing the camera around there and focus in on the painting, and let's make a start. So get your brushes and paints ready. And by the way, thank you so much for your kind comments as well, and your encouragement and your support. Thank you all very, very much. So don't go anywhere. Okay, so let's have a go at this lightning strike. I'm thinking coming down from here and kind of coming across slightly like that. What do we think? Something like that? And I'm going to use a very pointy brush now for this. So a nice little pointy rigger brush or a detail brush, whatever kind of brush you like. And it's nice and small. And now let me see, let me just get 2 different sizes. I have one really fine detail brush here now. It's, I don't know what size, the size has gone off, but it's 0.00. And I have another small one here, a size, there's no size on this one, it's probably a 1 I imagine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix a colour. Now lightning normally tends to be kind of a very bright bluey kind of a colour, doesn't it? So I'm thinking a bit of white and some phaylo blue might be a nice eye-catching colour. So let's wet our palette. And I've added 1 or 2 more colours this week to my palette. So I have titanium white, lamp black, naples yellow. I have a little Prussian blue. And it's very, very similar to phaylo blue. I just wanted to have a nice range, a nice choice of dark blues. So I've Prussian blue and phaylo blue, cobalt blue a little bit, burnt umber. I have a little touch of crimson. Not all crimson, but regular crimson will do just fine as well. And I have a small hint of yellow. I might not need it, but just for some of the waves, give them a bit of a glow or something. So let's go. Let's take some phaylo blue. I think this is the phaylo blue now. It could be cobalt, I'm not too sure. Yeah, this is phaylo blue. They're very dark, so it's difficult to tell sometimes, unless you actually go into them and mix them. So a nice, bright kind of a lightning kind of a blue. Now I might add a touch of pink into this as well. So a bit of white here now into this, a nice bright colour, plenty of turpentine, so it's very, very watery. And I might take a hint of, let me think now, pink. I could try a hint of this crimson, just to warm it slightly. I was going to try magenta, but I suppose we could try this pink here. Now I have a nice warm blue there, a nice kind of a light, kind of a warmish kind of a blue, a pinky blue. Shall we try this? Okay, there's a photograph on screen there. It's just a very rough, it's only just to give me an idea, that's all. I might not copy it exactly, but it's there just as an impression. Just to, you know, it just kind of helps. Now I'm just going to make it a bit more blue. Little bit. And let's try it. So the mist magic is coming down now from inside this cloud here, and it's just very jaggedy, isn't it? Now how's that colour? I'm not looking at the shape or anything like that, I'm just looking at the colour, and I'm just wondering how it ties in with everything else. I think a little bit more blue. I'm thinking maybe make it a little darker and touch of magenta also. I think just to give it that kind of sort of lightning bolt kind of glow. Let's bring that down. I think that's a bit of a better colour, isn't it? It's slightly warmer. Now it's slightly darker as well, but we can lighten it as we need to. And it's basically, I think, like painting a tree. Lots of jagged edges coming out like branches. See? You know, that's probably the easiest way of describing it, I think. Now I go up here and I make it slightly thicker up here. And we'll have a couple of... Now lightning is very unpredictable, as you know. So it can be just spontaneous, it can just go anywhere. So it doesn't really matter where it goes, I don't think. I just want to bring a couple right down by the ocean. Okay? And I need to figure out a way now of trying to soften this very slightly here and there. Because lightning has a very kind of a glow effect. It's very soft, isn't it? So I'm just kind of, you know, I'll be chopping and changing now all the time as I go. Make this a little thicker, and I might bring one out here. So it could be kind of hit and miss perhaps. Like so. Right, now I'm just kind of, you know, messing around with it. Now I might soften just up there, just a little. Let me just soften that into the clouds around it. Okay. In fact, what we could do is put a little of the phaylo blue up there. And just very gently, I'm just going to rub it gently with my finger just to soften it. Now I know a few of you were saying that it's very toxic to have paint on your finger, but I rarely have paint on my finger really. I don't do this very much, I'll be honest. So I appreciate all your sound advice. It is noted, don't worry, I'm taking it all in. And now let me see, let's try adding a little more white into this, and let's add a little more pink, magenta that is, and I might just take one or two of those so it can kind of lighten here and there as well, and I might just take one or two of those off here and there. So across the sky. Now that's a little rich there, isn't it? So let me just pull that back slightly. Okay, now I don't want to overdo this. It's just, you know, it's just a lightning strike. It's just a very simple lightning strike. I don't want to go crazy and putting lightning strikes all over the painting. So let me just sit back now for a moment, take a look at this. Alright, I'm thinking a bit brighter. Are you thinking the same? I don't know, it's just a little bit dull for me. I'd like to sort of brighten it very slightly here and there. So I'm just taking a little bit of white. I just feel it needs to really kind of stand out a bit more, and this is where you could run the risk now of spoiling your painting. But look, that's what it's all about, trying different things, isn't it? So let me add maybe a touch of white up there, give that a nice kind of a glow. And I'm going to soften the edges so they almost disappear into the sky. Now the sky is completely dry, so I can kind of really, you know what now, I get my little blender brush and I try and soften some of them just kind of into the sky, just a little, just to take the edge off of them, see? And I could perhaps soften some of this up here. So I just want to create a kind of a glow up in the sky. Do you know where this lightning comes out of the cloud? There's always this kind of a glow. Okay, how's this? I think we need to go slightly further across the canvas, just to give it a bit of balance, I think. I just think it needs it for some reason. I can't describe, but you look at something and it just doesn't look balanced. It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel right. So I just want to bring it across very slightly, just across the canvas, so it's kind of shooting, darting across the sky. Okay. Okay, I think we should just leave it at that for now. Let's just concentrate on the ocean, and we can always come back to it. Look, it's only a little bit. We can come back to it later on. No worries. Or you know what? I just got an idea there. You see, we're changing all the time. Isn't this brilliant fun? Perhaps up here there could be a small one just kind of darting out of the cloud up there, behind that cloud. See? So it's all kind of originating from the same spot. Oh, how about that? And the paint is not very wet. I'm kind of dragging the thick paint across the canvas grain, okay? So let's just soften it a bit. Look, that's a bit better, isn't it? See, that's adding a little bit of balance to the painting. So it's not just one lightning strike all on its own. There. And it disappears in behind the cloud. Alright, clean my fingers, get all the paint off. Okay, nice and clean again. And let's focus on some of this water. Now I have a few photographs on my phone here next to me of a kind of a rough ocean. And there's a couple of nice ones there. I put one on your screen there now. It's a very dark one, isn't it? And I think the dark would really complement this kind of a brightish kind of a sky here. So I'm thinking very dark with some nice bright highlights on some of the waves. And then we'll have our nice ship coming up at a slight angle, perhaps like this. Now the ship is going to be kind of sailing across, so it's going to be like this, okay? Sailing across the ocean this way, slightly towards us. So it's not going to be front facing, it's going to be side facing at a slight angle. So let's imagine it's trying to get away from the lightning, trying to get away from the storm. So it's coming across this way, across the painting. So we'll have our kind of sailboat here, alright? And then we can have some nice light catching the tops of the sails from the sun off in the distance. That's just the idea that I have. Let's just play around with it and see how it goes. So we have our lightning done. I don't think that's too bad. Look, okay, it's not perfect, but no harm. No harm, no foul, isn't that what I say? Let's go. I could use a big brush for this, but I think I'd have a bit more fun using something slightly smaller. So perhaps even your medium stubby brush, if you have one. It's the very same as the medium, very same size as the medium stubby brush. Same hair and all. I just have a slightly longer handle on this one because I don't have my medium stubby brush with me at the moment. I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. I'm sure it'll turn up. No, I don't see it. I don't see it anywhere, folks. Right. So any little brush, something nice, a decent size, and let's make a nice rich dark colour now for this. So dampen your brush in your turpentine, and let's go into some. We have, I think this is Peruvian blue. Look at that lovely dark blue. And I think I might take some burnt umber. And the burnt umber will help it kind of just go slightly green. So we'll have a very dark kind of a greeny blue. Now watch when I add some white what happens. Okay? So you can see now it's going a very rich kind of a dark greeny blue. And we could even add more burnt umber to this. And I'm thinking a touch of black as well, because it is very, very dark on that photograph, isn't it? It's pretty much like a blacky green. Let me just have a look at this now. I always tend to kind of play it safe at the beginning. I don't want to go too rich too soon. But I think I can afford to with this painting. Now I'm going for a nice kind of creamy consistency. So it's not very watery, but it's not thick paint either. It's somewhere in between. And it's moving around nicely now on the canvas, see? So we're going to have a very rough ocean, and there's going to be a bit of distance in this ocean now as well. So the waves are not going to be very close up. There's going to be a couple far off in the distance, way off. So I'm just basically going to cover all of this now with this dark colour, and then we'll work our highlights on top of that, okay? So we'll have a lot of mixing to do now with this. So we're only basically just using 2 or 3 colours. Very, very dark blue, which is Peruvian or phaylo. I think I have phaylo here as well. See, there's not much difference between those two. Some black, and a little burnt umber, just to help it give it that bit of a greeny tinge to it. And let's go right up here and put a big wave up there. So you can see now how wet the brush is, but it's covering the canvas lovely at the same time. You see? So it's not a very, very watery colour. It's creamy, lovely and creamy. And we can put a couple here like that. And it's going to be fun. I can tell you that. It's going to be a fun painting now to get all these waves in. And I'm going to kind of, I'm going to almost go my own way with this. And let's see how it turns out. I hope it turns out lovely. But there is always that little bit of apprehension, isn't there, that it's going to go horribly wrong. And especially with it being on camera, it could go horribly wrong, but I don't mind. That's okay, so that's what it's all about. Don't be afraid, just go for it. Let's have a bit of fun. If it doesn't work out, we can just paint back over the sea when it's dry. There's no problem whatsoever. That's the fun thing about painting. There's no limitations whatsoever in painting. And when I give my lessons to students every now and again, you know, they always say to me like, oh, I'm afraid to go too hard, or I'm afraid to put the colour on. And I'm saying, look, just go for it. Grab your brush, get loads of paint on your brush, and just put the colour on. Just look, go for it. Don't be shy. And put plenty of it on as well. Now, look what we've painted now so far. We've got all this done so far. Isn't that amazing? So again, Peruvian blue or phaylo blue. Now, you could use French ultramarine if you want as well, if that's your type of colour. But French ultramarine is a very rich royal kind of a blue. It'd be very difficult to get these kind of colours with a French ultramarine, because it's a real kind of a luminous, rich blue. It's more of a kind of a sky kind of a blue. And I just don't like... Now, I've used it for years and years myself, French ultramarine. And I was kind of, in the early days when I just kind of started messing around with oils, I bought some Peruvian blue, some phaylo blue, some French ultramarine, some cobalt, some cerulean blue. In fact, I actually have, from my very first set of paints, look at this, this now is about 20 years old, this tube of paint. Look, cerulean blue. And I'd say, I don't even know if it opens. It's one of the very first colours I ever bought. in a set, and it's a lovely colour now for doing bright skies and seascapes as well. It's a kind of a greeny, a light greeny blue. I can't even open it, look. Jesus. No, that's not going to open. I'll have to get pliers or something. But that's one of my very first tubes, and that's another lovely colour, cerulean. But I don't use it, it's just a very luminous, bright colour. Oh, it's great for landscapes. I might try it sometime. Do you know, let's give it a go. I'm all up for a challenge. But it's just a case of basically trying different colours, and you will eventually find a colour that you like using, and it'll just come to you naturally. Now I'm going to add a little touch of black just down in here. I want this nice and dark, because it's going to be a nice dark kind of a wave here in a minute. So I'm looking at the photograph and I can just see patches of kind of dark colour here and there. We could have one here, look, one little wave kind of pulling down like that, and we could have another one with some black and some brown. We could have another one. This could be a nice dark wave, couldn't it? Kind of going up like this. So that could be another nice one there, and perhaps one here as well. And we'll have some way off in the distance as well. So I'm basically just kind of going around now filling in colours, just kind of getting in dark points and light points. And I'll be honest, I'm not very good at painting seascapes up close. So I'm just as hopeful as you are that this is going to turn out okay. It might not, but let's just see. So we have, I think, the basis of a nice seascape. Can you see lovely little ripples that we have? And I've just kind of done that very quickly now with the brush. I suppose it's just a case from here on just adding some nice subtle lights and getting the shape of the waves and the direction of the waves in. I might avoid using pure white on the seascape. I think maybe a light bluey green would be nicer. So you can almost pick out some of the waves, can't you? Isn't that just amazing? And the bit of distance that we have. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, I'm quite happy with this so far. And it's only when you sit back, when you really sit back, you can actually see the different sections of the ocean. And this is really now the early stages. I'm going to do a lot on this, but I'm not going to I won't overdo it. I think for something like this, for a seascape, maybe less is more. What do you think? Now I'm going to start picking out some lights. I'm just flicking through my phone here now. I think we'll just stick with this image. This is a nice image, and I think it suits the painting nicely. I have a small stubby brush, number 4. It's relatively new to my collection. I'm going to add it there. I'm just going to add it in. It's a lovely little stubby brush. Nice little point, chiseled edge for doing little waves and stuff like that. So that's in my collection as well. If you want that, just email me. And let's mix some colours on and get some lights in here. I am thinking Prussian blue or phaylo blue with some white. Let's have a look. Let's mix some of this here now and see. And can you see this all right? You can? So I'm going to start off dark and work my way up then to a very bright colour, okay? Now into this I might take a touch of burnt umber, because I do want this slightly on the green side. Let me just sit back now and take a kind of a look. So what I'm doing now is I'm sitting back and I'm comparing that colour on my palette to what I have here, and I'm trying to think ahead. I'm thinking, is it going to look okay? Colour wise, I think it ties in nicely. I might go over some of the lightning, maybe with a slightly greener colour, green or blue. I don't know. It's just not fitting in for some reason. I think it's just too blue. So look, we can sort that out later. Let's try this colour. Little white, little Prussian blue, and a little burnt umber. So we have a greeny, I like kind of a greeny blue. And I don't even think I'm going to look at the photograph now at this stage. I might just kind of go on my own and let's put a couple of suggestions of some waves here and there. I'm just kind of flicking the brush now around. I'm cleaning it every so often because I want to keep it nice and clean. Okay, so let's just imagine there's some nice little waves off in the distance there. And I'm kind of just using the edge of the brush, the chiseled edge. So I'll clean it again. And I suppose the most important part of this, really, I think, is probably trying to create movement in the water and trying to avoid kind of overdoing it. So I'm just going to keep this now nice and subtle. I'm not going to go too big and too bold with this. Okay, this wave will have a nice little light point around there, and I'm going to put some tissue on my hand now just to have it here, look, just to flick my dirty paint onto that. Okay, bring it a bit down like this. And again, trying to create the direction of the water is probably the most difficult part. So I'm being very cautious with this. Right, we have a little bit coming down here, like so. I'm going to give it a couple of wiggles here and there. So I'm just kind of imagining now that the light from the lightning is sort of catching some of the water, but we have light up here too, don't forget that. So I'm going to add a little touch of light just here and there as well. Okay. I don't know if you can hear the wind outside in my studio here, but it's really very bad outside. We're having a bit of a weather warning at the moment, and it's very windy and rough and rainy. So you can hear that wind outside. It's very bad. Now I'm creating a little wave here, look. So I'm going to pull it. I'm flicking at a side angle. And I create another one here. Okay, and keep sitting back. Keep sitting back and having a good look at what you're doing. We have a nice dark kind of a wave here, don't we? So I'm going to put a bit of splash just on the top of that wave there. That's a nice little bit of light catching there, isn't it? And we could have even a piece coming down like this. So if you look at a lot of waves and water in general, you'll see that it almost has that kind of lightning effect going through it. If you look at the white ripples, you will see that it has a kind of a lightning effect on it. Now I'll show you what I mean by that. So what I do when I'm painting a wave, sometimes, most of the time, I will take a light colour like this, and let's pick a nice dark point now. And what I'll do is I'll come across like that, give it a little wiggle, and then I create like a lightning strike off of that. Okay? You see that? So then we have the direction of our wave, and this will be the tip of the wave. And I'll show you what I mean then by the tip of the wave in a minute. So I'll put this around the top of the wave here, look. And then it's going to come along like that. So you can begin to see like the very tips of the crests of the waves. Does that make sense? I'm trying to explain it as best I can and trying to make it as simple as I can. So for example here, this could be the very tip of that crest. And it'll disappear, you say, and then another one will come off it like this. See? Now I'll zoom in slightly just to show you what I mean. Okay? Give you a bit of a better view. There, now that's better, isn't it? So what I mean is, so let's just try once more now for you, just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Because I want you to understand exactly what I'm trying to achieve here. So we have, now where's the camera? Right, let's put one here. So we can put one here, okay? Little wiggly line, and then one comes off of that, and one comes off of this. So it's pretty much just like painting the lightning, isn't it? So we have a couple of crests now coming off of this wave. And then, what I will do is I will take my little stubby brush, my small one, give it a quick clean, and I'll just simply take some nice light colour, some white, and let's take a little touch of Perusian, because that has a nice hint of green in it. Perusian blue, and perhaps even a touch of, I'm thinking Naples yellow. Let's try little Naples with that. And then, on the light side of the wave, so let's imagine now the light is coming down here, catching this. I'll go to these lines and I'll pull down very slightly, look. And I'm putting a little tiny flick on that. And that's why these stubby brushes are very handy, because you can hold it in the cup of your hand like this, you see? And you can flick. It's very, you can really control these brushes. And then it'll sort of fade away out into the depths of the water, you see? It'll sort of disappear. And then soften that back into the dark colour, you see? Just like that. I'll give it a little wipe and we'll soften these back into the water. So the direction of my brush now is telling you which way the water is moving, you see? And I think that's the trick, to get that just right. Now let me take a little more Naples yellow in this, because I want to put a hint of a green, almost, in some of these. Just to suggest the light coming through the water. Does that make sense? Let's come down here, put a little bit on this one. And we could brighten this one up here as well, just slightly. So I'm just using thick paint on its own now, no thinners whatsoever. Lighten this one ever so slightly here. And let's put a couple of lights through this one. And then you see what I'll do is I'll take my soft blender brush and I will soften some of these gently into the dark colour, you see? Just to lose some of those brush strokes. Again, pulling in the same direction. Now, isn't that nice? So, making it lovely and soft. Look at that. I think that's pretty nice, don't you? So now you can see we have some direction at least. There we go. And I could use my pointy brush and perhaps add a little touch of colour to the distance as well. So let's perhaps put a little highlight here and there off in the distance, just to suggest some kind of foam off there as well. Okay, looks quite good. Now you can see how much we've achieved in just that short time. Isn't that amazing? Now we have a weight here as well. Let's do a bit of work on this one. So let's go back in now to this lovely rich colour that we had. Some blue and some white. And a touch of burnt umber. Again, and keeping it a little on the green side, just to complement these colours. And let's come down here and try a bit of that, and a bit here. And it's great that the oils are still wet. It allows you to mix lovely colours together, you see, and it creates lots of different colour and texture. If this was acrylics now, this would be quite difficult to do because it would be this would be dry completely, and you wouldn't have this freedom to soften colours together, you see, nice and soft. Now acrylics do have their advantages as well. They're great for if you're painting outdoors. You know, you can walk home with a dry painting under your arm. You don't have to worry about getting all the oil paint all over your clothes and destroying your painting. So yeah, each has their own advantages and disadvantages, don't they? Now, so how's this looking here? Some nice movement there, haven't we? That's quite nice. So we have the lights done. Let's work on some darks, will we? Let's get some darks in. So I'm going to do the very same now with my pointy brush. I'm going to take some of that blue and some of that black, okay? Nice dark colour. And just here and there on the crests, I'm going to add some darks. Just here and there. Because these will have a little bit of a shadow. And I'll put one or two down through it as well. And then darken the shadows, blend these darks down into the lights. See? So now we have a nice deep shadow in there, don't we? And we can do the same here. Let's give this a nice dark one. Again, just take paint, nothing else. And for me, this is kind of trial and error for me. There's no set way. As I said earlier, I'm not an expert on seascapes, so for me there's no set way of where to put everything. I'm just kind of trying things myself and see what happens and see what comes of it. I think that's probably the easiest way of describing it. Just try it and see what happens. But yes, the shadows will bring everything to life. So don't forget about your shadows, okay? You need shadows. Shadows are your friends. And let's put one or two around here. Like that. Just pulling them down. And this is fun, isn't it? Now of course there's always the worry that you're going to spoil what you have, but I think that's, for me, that's part of the fun really, you know. Alright, if you make a mess of it, that's how you learn, isn't it? You learn by making a mistake and trying to fix it. Now let's sit back and have a look at this now and see where we are. Okay? Now let me just get this camera nice and focused in there. There we go. Now what do we think about that? All we have now left to do is really the bottom section here. And I think maybe just one or two strong waves going up there. I think that would look nice, don't you? Now I do want to add a touch of bright just here and there on that. Just a little bit of foam just on top of that. A little bit here and there. See? Just little bits of foam. Because we will have foam splashing about, won't we? Just white here now on its own, just for these really bright highlights. I know I said I wouldn't use white in the seascape, but I just think some of these highlights will really help it jump out. And you know, just create a bit of movement also. Now, so there, how's this looking? I would say not bad at all, wouldn't you? Now as I add some of this colour out, I want to just maybe do some work on the lightning. So I'm thinking, make it slightly more greener perhaps. I think the blue is just too blue. Would you agree? No? Let me just try a little bit here and there, look. Just a dab here and there, that's all. Yeah, okay, that'll do. We'll leave it at that. And I'm thinking now, we come down here and we'll do one or two nice big waves. So again, pointy brush and some light colour. We get some of this light greeny kind of a blue colour here. And waves. Okay. I suppose it doesn't really matter. Let's just go down like that. So we have a big wave now crashing up like that, okay? Coming right up like this, crashing. And it'll kind of fade off over here. We have another one, perhaps going down like this. So there are my initial marks. Now let's go with the small brush, small flat brush, and get some nice bright colours, some phthalo blue and some white first. Let's try that. And okay. Now bearing in mind the sun is at the back, so it's going to be a lot of shadow down the front here. So I just want to go maybe some light here. And a little bit of light there. Okay, I'm just kind of messing around with the brush, that's all. Flicking around. And put a little bit just along there. Like that. Soften that away. I do want to put a lot of spray up on this. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of water kind of here, a little bit of movement, that's all. I've just been very rough with my brush, that's all. La 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 la. Now you can sing an old song as you're painting. So, how bad? Sing away, let you all sing away. Have a bit of fun. Right, I want to get some nice dark colour in the back of this now. And I'm going to take some, again, Prussian or phaylo, either one, with some black, and put a nice dark, strong dark shadow in here. And I want to put some kind of a greeny, bluey colour through this as well. Just to suggest some of the light kind of coming through this wave. So I'll take some Naples yellow with a touch of blue, and I'm going to put some Naples yellow just here and there, look. Now, it's not really working. Let's try some cadmium. And a touch of white. Just a little through the wave. And I'm flicking the brush up and down like this, you see, at that kind of an angle. See? Just like that. Some more cadmium yellow, and let's get a bit in here. Just a hint of it. Now I will go along with final highlights on all of this, okay, at a later stage. In fact, I might do some there in a minute. I just want to get the body of the painting done, the body of the sea, if you understand what I mean, and then go around and focus on all the little lights and darks afterwards. So you'll see me now kind of jumping around the painting a lot. And that's what I do. I kind of jump around the painting from here to there, very spontaneously, and I think it kind of, I suppose it comes more natural that way, if that makes sense. A touch of magenta, just add a bit of a pinky blue colour in here and there. Okay, let's brighten this now here slightly. Soften this one way out, nice and flat, look, nice and flat. I want to create some spray here and there on some of these, just a little bit, just a little. Let's try a little bit on the fan brush. I'm just kind of trying this now, it might not work, but look, come on, let's just go for it. Little bit of white with some cobalt this time, and let's try a little bit of spray here and there. See? Okay, that's not bad, that doesn't look too bad. And let's put a little bit here. So I just want to try to create that dramatic feel, that kind of dramatic seascape kind of a feeling. You see? Okay, put a bit more here. Just flicking it up and around, just kind of messing around with the fan brush again, that's all I'm doing. A touch of Naples in that. Okay, let's put a little bit up here. Now don't forget the sailboat will be covering some of this as well. So I'm bearing that in mind also. Now, let's create some little streaks of water there, see? With our fan brush. Just giving it a bit more texture, that's all. And again, sit back. Okay, let's mess around. Alright, okay, that looks good. If we get more white, and I want to create a nice big spray just on top there. So just up here, maybe take a touch of Naples yellow just to brighten the white up just a little. And let's go up here and create a nice spray. There, look at that. Don't be afraid, let's just try it, come on. I'm first worried now that I'm going to spoil my painting, but you know what? I don't care. If I spoil it, I spoil it. You're never going to know if you don't try, isn't that right? Okay, now, 2 nice bits of spray up there. Again, I didn't overdo it. Let's go back to a pointy brush, and let's take some Naples yellow, and a little white. And I'm just going to add some very bright highlights now, just here and there. Just kind of, see, I'm just kind of dabbing it just here and there on the tips of the waves, on some of the waves. Just to kind of catch your eye. And it just kind of brings your eye in, doesn't it, just slightly? And put a couple there, couple of little ripples through here and there. Put 1 or 2 up there. You can lighten this ever so slightly. And perhaps let's put 1 or 2 here. Look. Couple of dabs just to suggest little bits of water kind of flying around. It is a painting after all, it's not a photograph, it doesn't have to look exactly like a photographic image, you know. If you want something that looks like a photograph, then just go and take a photograph. Isn't that right? This is a painting. It's supposed to look like a painting. Like someone actually painted it. With paint and a brush. Okay. Now, shall we sit back and have a look at that? I'm thinking, actually, see, I keep changing now and this is the beauty about painting, things keep popping into your head. I'm going to add a touch of white. Here and there. To that. I just think it might lift it. Just that little bit. What do you think? I'm thinking it would. Yes, I think it just works, just that little bit better. Just here and there. Okay? Let's soften it into that. So let's have a look at this now. there's something about this I'm just not happy with. I'm just not happy with that. There's something it's just not doing anything for me. I think I need to maybe just add a bit more spray. Perhaps along this wave, just a little bit more. It's just not kind of grabbing my attention, if you know what I'm saying, if you understand. So I'm just going to try and soften it just a little bit in. You know, it looks too sort of lonely just there on its own. I'm just going to kind of soften it in a bit more, perhaps into the ocean. I think that's probably a bit better. But look, I think that'll do for now. I will probably go around and soften some of the highlights that I did earlier. Just a hint here and there, just to take the edge off of them. Just a little look. Just to make it all feel more natural, more kind of flowy. And I'll even soften this one down at a slight angle as well. And perhaps these. So that's kind of pretty much, I would think, our ocean. We can still add to this now. We still have to do our ship and everything. So I think I'll just leave this as it is for now. I'll go and have a cup of tea, coffee or something like that, and we'll come back to it then. Part 3, I suppose, and we'll take our time with our ship. Now I might upload part 3 a little sooner. Maybe upload it on the Tuesday or a Wednesday or something, because I know you'll be impatient and you really want to see how it's turning out. So yes, let me turn this camera around here so you can see me, and I will say my final goodbyes. This is goodbye for now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm happy with that. I'll kind of stand back now a few times. I'll take a good look at this. I'll see, is there anywhere I could improve it? If you have any suggestions, by the way, let me know. Just give me some comments, some suggestions, some feedback, let's say, and we'll come back to this then in a couple of days. We'll do the sailing boat, and we can always change one or two of the waves, if you like. But yeah, I think it's okay. I'm pretty happy with that. That sun coming in the window there, it's blinding me. So go off and try this, let me know what you think. Happy painting, and thank you very much for your support. If you want those brushes, just email me, stephenconway12@gmail.com, and I will see you in a few days. Alright? Don't go anywhere. Easy Oil Painting signing out. I'll talk to you very soon. God bless.